Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter drive the flashy car her dad got her for her 16th birthday? I, Amy, 40, have a daughter who just became old enough to drive, Jane, with my ex-husband Mike. Mike and I separated 10 years ago, and while we've both moved on and remarried, co-parenting hasn't always been smooth. We don't have a contentious relationship, but we definitely have our disagreements, especially when it comes to raising Jane. Mike has a thriving business and comes from a wealthy family. Jane's grandparents set up a trust fund for her when she was born, which will cover her college expenses with plenty left over. While I've always wanted Jane to have a balanced upbringing, Mike's lifestyle has made that challenging. He spares no expense when it comes to Jane. Some of the things he regularly spends a lot of money on include extravagant trips, designer clothes and accessories, and high-end gadgets. Mike takes Jane on extravagant vacations multiple times a year. She's been to Europe, Asia, Disney World, and countless other destinations. These trips are filled with luxury hotels, fine dining, and shopping sprees, making Jane's experiences drastically different from those of my other kids. Jane regularly comes home with designer clothes, bags, and accessories that Mike buys for her. She's decked out in the latest trends, while my other kids wear hand-me-downs or things we can afford on our tighter budget. Mike makes sure Jane always has the latest tech. From the newest iPhone to high-end tablets and laptops, she's never wanting for the newest gadget, while my other kids often have to share devices or use older models that are handed down. Before Jane's 16th birthday, Mike reached out to let me know he wanted to get her a car, supposedly so she could go back and forth to his house more easily. I told him that while I was okay with Jane having a car, it didn't need to be anything flashy or brand new, mainly because of how it would affect my other kids. My current husband and I have 3 kids together, and, well, we can't afford to buy any of them cars when they turn 16. We both drive old clunkers that barely get us where we need to go. My husband drives a beat-up Toyota with over 300,000 miles on it, and my car isn't much better. Our kids are already jealous of Jane's vacations, clothes, and overall lifestyle, and I knew that if she came home with a flashy car, it would only make things worse. The last time Jane came back from her dad's, she was driving his wife's old 2018 Camry with 110,000 miles on it. Jane was thrilled, but I wasn't so sure. Even though the Camry is far from brand new, it's much nicer than either of our cars, and I felt uneasy about it. I told Mike that Jane didn't need to drive that car when she was with us, but he insisted it was just an old hand-me-down. Even though it wasn't a brand new luxury vehicle, it was still far beyond what we could provide, and I knew it would create resentment among my other kids. Jane was disappointed, of course, and couldn't understand why I wouldn't let her drive it. She argued that it wasn't some flashy sports car, just a used Camry, but I stood my ground. I told her that we had to consider how it would look to the other kids, who would never get the same opportunity. My husband supports my decision, saying it wouldn't be fair to let Jane flaunt a nice car when our kids are stuck riding bikes or borrowing our beat-up cars that are on their last legs. However, Jane is upset and feels like I'm punishing her for having a dad who can provide more than we can. I love my daughter, and I want her to have nice things, but I also need to keep the peace at home. I don't want her siblings to resent her or feel like they're missing out because they don't have the same privileges. I've tried to explain this to Jane, but she feels like I'm putting my other kids' feelings above hers. And maybe I am. I just want everyone to feel equal, and right now, it feels like Jane's lifestyle is driving a wedge between her and the rest of the family. So, am I the asshole for not letting my daughter drive the car her dad gave her because I don't want to upset my other kids?